Hey folks, it's Boo. I'm behind the camera, and in front of the camera, I've got Doddy with me. Doddy, can I get you to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Doddy. I'm a solution engineer based in Indonesia.
Awesome. And you have developed a solution on your own around AI.
Right.
I'm actually just going to let you run through it if you could, please.
Sure. So actually, what we do have here is the whole security stacks, right? Now, if you talk about the RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generations, we see a lot of risks, right? I think we're all familiar with the network stuff, HTTP stuff, API stuff, also LLM. But now, there's also another risk in the data level, right? So in terms of solutions, we actually collaborate with Lintas Harta here, the local partner, which they provide the LLM as a service. And if we map the whole risk, I think we all kind of understand this, but I just want to highlight this one. There's another risk here, the new things that we call the data privacy risk, right? Which basically, if we talk about the RAG, the private data, sensitive data will goes all the way to the LLM as a service, right? Now, the whole solution here is actually to combine our F5 security stacks, which is we have the F5 distributed cloud, and then AI gateway, and also the big IPs, right? Now, by now, I think I'll deep dive into the what I call as the data anonymizations, right? So basically, the calls from this API, from this AI application will go all the way through the LLM as a service, but it will pass the F5 big IP. Now, why is that important, right? The first thing is that if we look into the details, I know it's a bit busy slides here, but the point I'm trying to make is that the sensitive data is actually visible to the LLM as a service, right? Both when we do the data loading, as well as when we do the inferencing. We look into this flow, all the sensitive data are visible. And when the LLM as a service enable the tracing, basically every sensitive data will be visible to them. So with just a couple of clicks, they can see the whole conversation starting from the early up to the very end of the conversations, right? Now, what we are doing with this is actually doing what I call as the data anonymization, right? Some of you might be asking, why not masking, why not hashing, right? Anonymization means that data will be encrypted in a kind of way where we can revert back to the original value, right? And what we use is none other than our old but gold big IP. So I'm skipping this part, but just want to highlight into the end result. Basically, this is the data after the anonymizations, right? Now, the LLM as a service enable the trace, but now all the obviously they still got our conversation, but all the sensitive data will be in the form of anonymized, right? Now, why anonymization, right? Why not encryption? I think we all know how the LLM works. We cannot encrypt the whole things, but instead we do the anonymization, right? And by anonymization, what I mean is that the original data will be encrypted in such a way where the encrypted value will be unique to each of these original data, right? Why is that? So that we can revert back to the original value when needed later on in the flow, right? So by doing this, the LLM as a service now no longer have the visibility to the sensitive data, right? Now, last but not least, I want to also introduce this one. Let me see if I can show this one. This one. Let me pause that for a second here. Sorry for this one. Yeah. So if you can see here, this is the view of the VectorDB, right? Where we store all the data chunks and also the VectorDB database, right? The thing here is now the VectorDB also stored by enabling this anonymization. It's also stored non-sensitive data, meaning this data here is also anonymized, which means the customer now can also consume the cloud-based or SaaS-based VectorDBs. Right, I think that's a very unique approach that we have. Now, instead of doing this with LLM, we just do this with the big IP, where it works in the API or HTTP transaction level. So latency is very minimal. Right? I think that's all what I got.
Very cool. Doddy, how long have you been at F5?
I think about 8 years.
Wow.
Today.
And you have, yeah, that's awesome. And you have developed iRules, a number of iRules in the past, I guess, and
I did.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome to see. How long did it take for you to develop this?
I think like maybe 2 or 3 weeks.
Wow. Okay.
Now the iRules itself is quite simple, but the logic behind how the workflow of it goes, right? It takes some of time to do the thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, super impressive. I would say if you haven't already, we'd love to get a video of this on DevCentral so that everybody can check out what you've
Sure.
what you've done here. Super cool. All right. Thanks a lot, Doddy.
Thank you.